Yo, what's going on, boys? It's your man, back for another figure review. Now, this one may seem a little familiar. You might have think, yo, I've seen this before, but no, you haven't. This is the new Disney Store exclusive Marvel Select Carnage. I know. How could I get my hands on a rarity like this? Disney.com or something like that. I don't know. They had them on sale or not, but they had them in stock, so I bought them. Now, this guy, I'm just going to say it. I do feel like this figure can 100% stand on its own. You could buy it for just this figure, or even if you have the other Marvel Select Carnage, I think this figure has enough stuff to make it completely different. But we'll get into that soon. So moving this man out of the way and bringing the box in. Now, Marvel Select has always had a very specific box. I got to bring it all the way back, put it half down the crevice for you to see it. They're the huge window packaging with the big back. It's got Carnage and some product shots. The side always has some cool pics. I don't know what picture of Carnage that is, but it's a cool one. I think these boxes look good. They actually made this one smaller or thinner than the other one, so this isn't even the full size. This isn't even the box's final form. So just know that. Bringing this guy back in. Now, the paint sculpt on this guy is great. The sculpt on the body is almost exactly the same as the original. He just has some things like this sharp corner pointing out of the elbow. He has that on both sides instead. And some of the holes from the other one, they're missing. Like, they took them out because this figure has a different back piece than the other one. But I still don't think it's a problem. And the paint is a different red than the other one. It is a slightly darker red. And in the comparisons, you'll probably be able to tell. And for sculpt on the new parts, I think it's some of the best. Like this Cletus Cassidy head, or the morphing Cletus Cassidy into Carnage head. I think this is one of the best Carnage heads that ever been made. Now, usually we don't get Cletus Cassidy heads, and the light just died. So 1 second. All right, I'm back. It might look a little worse now because I have to use the lighting on the phone instead of the light I usually have because it died. But we'll getting right back into it. I was talking about the head sculpt or something. I think we never usually get good Cletus Cassidy head sculpts. Like on the Marvel Legends, the movie Venom Wave, I don't think that Cletus Cassidy head is very good. And I don't think we have any other really good ones. Besides the Mafex, I think Mafex did really good. And the original Marvel Select had that half Cletus Cassidy face that looks good. But I do think this is the best one. So coming over for articulation on this bad boy. It doesn't seem like they fixed or really changed the articulation much compared to when they first released the figure. The head articulation all seems the same, just a ball joint with the peg going in so you can get some nice articulation there. At the shoulder, ooh, it goes up not to 90, but still not bad. It's got a rotation that goes all the way around. A bicep swivel. He has a single jointed elbow, but it doesn't work that bad. At the wrist, he's got a swivel at the point it pegs in, a hinge at the wrist, and then that's it for hand articulation. Coming in for the torso here, all he has is this diaphragm with a ball joint. It can go all the way around, side and side. It can go forward, pretty decent, and back, kind of well too. One thing Marvel Select still, I don't think they have gotten down is ab joints. Even in the newer figures, I don't think they've really gotten down what they need to do to give it the best articulation. But I do think with all the other points, they're getting very, very good. At the waist, he has a swivel. At this leg here, he kicks forward pretty good. He kicks back, not at all. I think I made a booty joke about the last figure that didn't have good back. And I'm not sure what it is on my figure with this leg, but the peg seems very brittle and looks like it was half stretched. So be very careful. This leg comes out that far. Oof. Goes in, but it's very tight. At the lower thigh here, they have a swivel, which I usually don't like it down here. because it's kind of on the fat of the leg, and it looks bad when it's moved at all. You can really see cuts in it, and I don't think that looks the best, but it's still good. At the knee, double jointed, works very well. At the ankle here, forward, back, and of course, nice little anchor pivot. So now for the accessories this guy comes with, I think these ones might just be slightly better than the ones that came with the original Carnage. I'll actually move to the side. Starting, well, we'll start with the symbiote tendril accessories. Now, he comes with the same ones as the first Carnage did. Drop that one. But these ones are in a slightly darker red to match the red that he is with. And for some reason, they changed the peg hole sizes. Like these pegs, they're too small. So if you try and put them in the original, they're too loose. And then if you try to put the originals on this one, it's too big. So I don't know why they would do that, but what are you going to do? The smaller ones you could probably manage to put on the other one if you balance them good enough. But some of these, the size is just too small and they just fall right out because of the hole the angle is on, or the angle the hole is on. I think they did a very good job with some of these symbiote things, especially this one that goes, you put this around his neck, and I think this is supposed to be for the Cletus Cassidy head, so pop it off. The heads pop off really easy, and a lot of these accessories went on very easy the first time, but I still recommend warming all of them up. The hot water is always good idea. I think this looks pretty good as a kind of a Carnage transition. I don't even know. When he takes over the head and the symbiote gives him the symbiote face. Not sure what to call it. But moving on to the different symbiote faces, we'll start with what I think is the worst. This one. I'm not really sure what these faces are supposed to be. This one kind of looks like Toxin, but I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to be, or if it's just a different variation of Carnage. This one seems more like a modern or ultimate kind of Carnage with the big white teeth instead of the black or red. And they're kind of pointing out real funky. I don't know what the look is supposed to be. Rabbit teeth, maybe. I think the eyes on all of these heads look really good. I think Marvel Select does a very good job putting the pearlescent white on the Carnage and Venom eyes. I think they still do that great. This might be the goofiest accessory comes with, is the long neck Carnage. The sculpting and paint on this head is actually really good for something so goofy as this. I don't have words for what this even is. I think the head sculpt could be a little better. The chin is kind of huge. Kind of looks like the crimson chin. The teeth and the detail is all there, though. It looks very good. This head, to put it on, ooh, dropped them. It's just the same thing. You pop that, and then it has just a little peg here that you can put in, and it just stays on. The articulation for this head isn't the best because they gave it kind of a drooping down piece at the end here. So it looks like it's forming on, but it really hinders the articulation having one really long piece and then the rest all the same. But I still think this head is good and a welcome accessory just because. Moving on to some more of the symbiote blades. He comes with two of this blade. Same one for each hand. Actually, no, they are different. I didn't even notice that. So we got this blade. This one kind of looks like the angled knife. A couple of little sharp pieces coming off the end. The paint and sculpt on these, I think, are way better than the original blades. Because the original was just black and red. But this one's got a lot of shading and detail put into it. Just to give it that extra little bit. This other one here. Kind of more smooth and goopy. Looks like a scythe head, kind of. This one looks very good, too. I like all the detail they put with the symbiote goop all flopping around. And I think both sides are... No, they're not different. Or maybe they are, I'm not sure. The sculpting is very good, though. I think throughout the times Marvel Select, even releasing or re-releasing figures, they really put a pack for the punch or something. And it's a really good deal for all the stuff you get for such a low price. This figure retailed for $25 at the Disney store. think my buddy who purchased it for me paid around like 30 or 40 to get it, and that's not bad at all, even over retail. I think with the accessories it comes with, it's worth it. Now this is the backpack piece you put on the back of Carnage. Give him some extra tendrils here. All this has ball joints in it. All three of these have ball joints at the base. And then these big ones on the top have a hinge. So it's just even more accessibility and articulation on the stuff, just to make it a little bit better. See all the detail on it. I think this is probably one of the best accessories he came with. The Marvel Select Venom came with something like this, but it was a bunch of heads. And I think that really made that figure worth it. Now bringing this man over here to put the bag on him. We'll pop the neck piece, throw on a head, and then you just gotta put it right in there and squeeze it onto his back, and it fits nicely. With this piece, what I did when I first got it is I put the whole base into hot water, and then I put it on the figure and squeeze it as hard as possible to morph it kind of to the mold of the figure, so it fits nicely on the back. Because there's not really a peg or anything holding this in. It's just kind of friction and being around the bends. They did put holes in the back piece. I don't know if you can see it, but there's holes like here, and you can actually peg in the pieces on top of it to this. So it's even more tendrils you can put on top of tendrils. And I think that really does make it even better, so you don't lose being able to put the tendrils on by using the back piece. There's even an extra hole in the back piece, so you can put extra tendrils on. Standing him back up, placing him nicely in the middle. Coming over for some comparisons. We'll start with the other Marvel Select figures. Here he is next to Venom, and then next to Anti-Venom. And this is where I think the only problem with this Carnage comes in, is the scale. I think for some forms of Carnage you would use this for, he's way too big. He's not even supposed to be nearly as big as Venom, and he's way bigger than him. I think this figure would work really good as like the leader of the Horde Carnage. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head right now, but that big demon looking Carnage, I think this figure would work perfectly for that. And even some of the heads it comes with could fit for that. Like this head, I think this head fits perfectly for You Know My Name, Now Scream It from Absolute Carnage. Ooh, it looks perfect. I think he also looks very good with the Select figures all together. I think it has the same thing as NECA figures, where they have all the same format, and they all look very, very good together. Get these guys out the way. Yeah, just fling them off to the side. Now for the Carnage comparisons. You got Marvel Legends on the left, Mafex on the right. Want to be careful, don't want him to fall. And then we'll bring in, put it right in over here. There's the Revel Tech on the bottom. Oh, bring it back a little bit so you can see them all. I think I had a display set up where I just took every single Carnage figure I had and put them all in one big pile. And it didn't really work out well, because I think the big problem with this Carnage is that all of them look so different. All the figures have such a varying style that they don't really fit together well when you put them all in one big display. So I think though this would not work for building a Carnage Horde. You'd more want, I'd say you could get the big Carnage as like the leader. Then you probably want to army build the Marvel Legends Carnage so that the Horde all looks the same together, instead of 5 different designed Carnages all at once. Now, I do think that this Carnage does have contender for best Carnage figure. It's probably stuck somewhere between that Carnage, the Revel Tech, and then the Mafex. I don't know, someone just blew an air horn or something outside. I'm not sure what that was. Don't know if you could hear it. Hopefully not. But I do believe that he does fit for best Carnage. For price and what you get for that price, 100%. I think this could be the best Carnage. And he is actually really easy to get a hold of. Well, this one, not really, but the original one, they're still remaking him. It's so easy to get a hold of him that it really could just be the best Carnage figure there is. right behind, or right next to this man, because this is one of the best Carnage figures. Getting this out the way. Oh no, the next one fell over. Now, of course, you gotta compare him to the other Marvel Select Carnage. I think they both look really good next to each other, and I had them set up as the same thing. I had this Carnage squatting or on his knees screaming in front of this one, and I think it looked really good. And I think they do really fit together well. The only problem is if you start looking real close, the reds are not the same, and that kind of makes it a little bad. And with the real problem with it is you can't exchange, or you can, but it kind of messes it up if you interchange both figures' accessories, because you'll have this one with the lighter red, and then that one will have the dark red, and it kind of really sticks out when you mix them. But you can't really tell if you're not looking for it. So I do think that both of them, you should get both of them if you can, because they work well together and apart. Well, we'll just leave them for the end. I think this is probably one of the best Carnage figures. If you can get it, like I said, 100% should. For more retail though, not anything higher than that, because it's kind of easy to find him. And if I could get both, it's probably easy for anyone else too. So I think he is 100% a get and one of the best Carnage figures. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been keeping up with the streak pretty well. I think that this is going to work once a week. It'll be my good schedule. That's going to work out for me. I'll keep supplying the content if you guys want it. So thank you, and I'll see you next time when Godzilla beats Kong once again. You know what? Mecha Godzilla and then the regular Godzilla, but I team up on Kong and then fight just to get Kong out the picture. All right, I'll see you guys.